This video will teach you how to use the various cameras that you will most likely see when involved in a studio or field production. Let's start with the P2 Panasonic. Each P2 camera case contains the following: the P2 camera, a headset, a P2 battery pack, a P2 memory card, a white balance board, a component cable, a USB cable, and a list of settings for the camera. The first thing to do when using a P2 Panasonic is to set up the tripod like so. You can make adjustments to the tripod as you progress. Next, remove the shoe from the mounting plate of the tripod. Then take the screw from under the plate and insert it inside the hole in the shoe. Once that's done, you can now place the shoe on the bottom of the camera. A small coin can help with tightening the screw. Now slide the camera on the plate of the tripod and lock it into place. Remove the lens cap. Insert the P2 battery pack in the battery slot. Open the P2 memory card tray and place the P2 memory card in the first slot until you hear a click. Now your camera is all set up. Now that your camera is set up, turn it on using the switch at the back. The pull-out screen is located on the side. This screen is usually the one to use when you are filming. Now the camera needs a white balance. The whiteboard in the camera kit is used here. The auto white balance is located at the front of the camera. Keep in mind, there may be times that you will need to white balance again. Near the front of the lens of the camera is the focus and zoom rings. Using the focus ring, you can adjust the focus of the image of the camera. The iris gain controls how bright or how dark your image is. The zebra button, which is located inside where the pull-out screen is, shows you how much white is exposed in your image using black and white stripes. The ND filter is used whenever the natural light around you is too bright or too dark, and it helps with getting a better look for the image. Before shooting anything, you will need to format the memory card. You do this by first pressing the playback button. Here you can see all the video clips from the memory card you are using. Here you can navigate through the screen by pressing the buttons on the control pad on the top of the camera. Pressing the menu button gives you several different options. Go to Operations, choose Format, and the slot the card is in, which will be slot 1, and all the videos on the memory card will be deleted. It is always a good idea to format the memory card just so you don't end up mixing your footage. These are XLR plugs, used mainly for plugging in other microphones. The switches next to those plugs, you can choose which audio source is recorded. When using the headset, plug it in where the headset plug is at the back of the camera. It is important to use the headset so you can hear what audio is being recorded. The channel select and input buttons are located where the pull-out screen is, and they allow you to control which input is used. In between the memory card tray and the battery slot are audio volume controls that allow how loud what you hear is being recorded. When all that is set and you are ready to record, press one of the 3 record buttons located on the camera. These are the cameras that you will be working with in the studio for most studio productions. This is what most studio cameras you will be using will look like. The first thing you do is unlock the padlock. This will let you adjust the height of your camera so it's more comfortable for you. Next, unlock the other orange safety lock. With this unlocked, you can now make tilts. The last thing to unlock is the tilt and pan locks at the back. Now you can make your pans and tilts smoothly. An important thing to remember when leaving your camera is to always lock it off to avoid damaging the camera itself. Moving the camera forward and backward like this is called a dolly. When dollying backwards, it is always a good idea to have one hand on the triax cable in the air so it doesn't get in the way of when you're backing up. Adjusting the outer ring on the tripod will tell you which way the camera will be going when moving it. Moving a camera sideways like this is called trucking. The arm on the right-hand side has a zoom control, which controls the zoom ring. The arm on the left-hand side has a focus control, which does the same thing but for the focus ring. This makes it so you don't have to reach for the zoom and focus rings, and still make the adjustments when you need to. Each studio camera has its own headset, which is used to communicate with the director or producer of the production. The intercom switch will allow you to talk back to the director or producer. It is important to use it when it is necessary and not just for the sake of talking back, which can confuse and irritate fellow coworkers. The final camera you'll be using is the crane or jib. The jib is usually tucked away safely, where it is kept high above to avoid head injury. Like the studio camera, the jib also has a padlock that has to be unlocked first. The next thing to do is to unlock the pan friction to allow panning of the crane. The other friction to open is boom friction. Both of these allow the crane that the camera is on to have more mobility. The control stick, located at your end of the crane, allows you to control the actual movement of the camera. The focus control is also located here, and like the studio, it adjusts the focus ring of the camera for a sharper image. The zoom control works the same as the ones on the studio camera to adjust your zoom ring from where you are. An interesting feature on all the cameras in the studio is there is a return feed button, which will allow you to see what is being sent to air and is located on the zoom control arm right underneath. Now you are ready to operate a camera.